and I don't know if I'm actually live. I noticed on my counter on the live that I was running that suddenly the viewers started falling off. And then I saw a chat from Angie's Life that said, no, you're not late. Her live messed up. According to my phone, I am live right now. And I have no idea when I stopped being live before. Guys, I don't know what happened. Guys, on my phone, we were running live. The clock was turning. All of a sudden, I saw the reviewers just falling off. And then I saw the last chat from Angie's Life that said to John McKinney, you're not late. Something went wrong with her live. On my end, we were still running live. What happened on y'all's end? Did it just... Because I didn't want to take the time to go look at the end of the live that I just ended. What happened on your end? It started buffering bad. It was like it was buffering the whole time. Well, maybe it's best. Am I buffering now? Am I buffering now? No, I'm not buffering now. Was the entire live stream buffering? Hi, Tennessee DJ. Carrie. Listen, maybe it's God's way or the Creator's way or the universe's way of saying this was not a live you should have done. I mean, you know, when I started out, I said, okay, Carrie, not the whole thing. Okay. Well, golly, thank you guys for coming back. I'm just glad that I saw Angie's Life. I tapped the screen because I noticed that the counter was, that numbers kept falling off of the viewers. And I'm like, wait a minute. 5 minutes ago, I had 61 people in here and now I have 5. What's going on? Did I say something that terribly offensive that 55 people checked out just like that? And then I tapped the screen and Angie's Life, her comment said, no, you're not late. Something's gone wrong with her live. And then right above that was John McKinney saying, I'm late. And of course, I'm looking at the clock here. You know, if you're a creator, you know that on your end, you have, like right now, there's a little thing at the top of my screen, okay? It says live, 4 minutes and 37, 38, 39. See, there's a ticker. There's a clock running that tells me how long I've been live. It tells me how many people are watching right now, how many thumbs up I've gotten, and if I've had any super chats or super stickers. And that was all operating. That was all running. So I didn't know that it was crazy on your end. And of course, I was in a state of mind that if you were telling me in chat, you're buffering, you're buffering, you're buffering, well, dummy me wasn't paying close enough attention to see that I was buffering. So here's what I'll do. Since it was only buffering at the end, I think I'll go ahead and leave it up. The live stream I did right before this live stream. I need some lipstick. Because on the live stream that was buffering, and I hope me moving around with you doesn't mess things up. We were right at the point that I was going to do a reading, and I was trying to think of a song to sing you out. And now here we are back on live for 6 minutes, and I got nothing. Okay, I know that, and I've only got 15% left on my battery. So all you're going to get is some lipstick. And I know I've told you to always use a brush, but it's my brand new lipstick. And when it's brand new, I like to put it on like that. Hey, I know what? Let me get my cord and charge us. Put us on charge so that we at least have enough power. Hang on. It's going to be crazy for a minute. It's always crazy around here. Getting the chart, getting the cord. Watch out, Caddy. Watch out, caddies. Watch out, Caddy. Like, oh my goodness, what a ride. That means we have to be way over here where there's an outlet. Are we buffering? At least I'm smiling. That's something. Hi, Grammy Luli. Let's do this so that I'm not really supposed to charge and be live at the same time. You got your stovetop clean while I was buffering. Hey, I laughed. See what can happen when you're a YouTubian and things mess up and you just keep on pushing through. Okay. I don't want to say the real name that just sent me a message because I don't think that's your real name in a live chat. I don't think that's your username. So I'll read that message later. I only saw, as you know, you just see the first few words. And it said, I have been absent from YouTube because. So I'll read that here in just a little bit after I end this live. Are we on? Are we live? And am I buffering? Willow, if you don't get out from underneath mommy's feet. Y'all, I can't find. I'm having one of those mornings so far that I cannot find my ass with both hands. I left my coffee outside. My water bottle wasn't in the fridge. It was sitting on the countertop. And if I would learn my lesson and pay more attention to the chat, I have a feeling I would very likely have seen, yeah, Grammy Luli, I'm a rule breaker. If I didn't say that already after you said it, I'm saying it again now. Hi, flies. Did I 420 yet? Nope. I didn't want a 420 when I knew I was going to be talking about summer. I'm going to 420 as soon as I get off at this live, though. Second live for a day. I don't think I've ever done this before. I don't think I've ever gone live twice in the same day, much less back to back. For those of you who were not here a little bit ago, I was live streaming when I suddenly realized that everyone had quit watching me. Turns out I was buffering like a mofo. Hi, Raindrops. So welcome back to everybody that came back. And thank you guys for helping me over the hump. Now, speaking of 420, that would be this coming Sunday, which is Easter. It is also my husband's 65th birthday. I asked him the other day, I said, baby, do you ever remember your birthday being on Easter before? And he really had to figuratively scratch his head. And he was like, he said, it seems like maybe once. Of course, I could look on a calendar on Google and go back to 1960. I could even ask Google, has Easter ever landed on April 20th between 1960 and 2025? Because he was like, I think so, but I'm not sure. So, you guys know on Easter Sunday morning, if nothing gets in the way, so no promises, but on Easter Sunday morning, I usually go live super early so that we can hear the singing from the church across the road at sunrise. It's more than just Easter in our house this year. It's also Bob's 65th birthday, and his plan is to retire on May the 3rd. He got his Medicare card in the mail yesterday. So this will be absolutely a content-free short live stream. I'm trying to get it where you don't, it's weird for me to have you on this part of the counter because I'm literally like having to, I've got breakfast dishes in the sink and I'm having to lean up on the sink to talk to you. I mean, look. Told you. So we've been on here 13 minutes. Are we buffering? I need another cigarette. I'm looking at our book. I'm not ignoring you. Well, I am ignoring. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just otherwise occupied. Now, where did I borrow that line from? My hubby, Bob. One day I was speaking to him, and I was looking at him as I was speaking to him, and he was not looking at me. And so after a few minutes, I said, "Are you ignoring me?" And he looks up and he goes, "No." I am otherwise occupied. Okay, so in other words, woohoo, Poppy Red Mustang, you go. For those who didn't see the chat, Poppy Red Mustang and her not smoking. Okay, you guys know that 30 days, Poppy Red Mustang. You guys know that I do a cold reading. Well, you kids that are here regularly. You kids that are just popping in, or maybe you're new. We've got some new subscribers. Okay. Over the last few days, we've gained a couple of subscribers. So I don't know if those subscribers are people who had never watched me before, but they saw a particular short and said, hey, I'm going to sub up to this old lady. Or if it's someone that maybe they had fallen off and lost interest and maybe they came back. Maybe it was somebody that got really mad at me over something that I have done here in the past. And they were like, I'm not going to watch her anymore. I don't like her. She made me mad by what she said and did. It'd be more like what I said, not what I did. And maybe they came back. But we've gained a couple of new subscribers. So for those folks' sake, if you're here, hi, my name is Susan, and welcome to Liplocked Nomore. We fly by the seat of our pants over here. We're footloose and fancy free. We ain't got no fancy bells and whistles. Just me, jacking my jaws about whatever I choose to jack my jaws about. Because after all, I am an old granny ma. And we old ladies, we like to talk a lot because we think we're really wise. Age and wisdom do not necessarily go hand in hand. Because, you know, wisdom is applied knowledge in a way. Yeah, let's not get too far off in that. But anyway, we have been reading. I don't know, I'm doing the outro within the first 17 minutes. We have been reading from Getting the Most Out of Life, an anthology published by the Reader's Digest in 1946. And as I mentioned before I went off into that little spiel, I do a cold reading. That means I have not pre-read. Duh. And so I was flipping through pages to find something. And I think I did. Angie's Life, honey, it was your last chat that let me know that I needed to end the live. I won't go through the whole explanation, Angie's Life. Hi, Cat's Hodgepodgery. I won't go through the whole explanation because the kids that came right back, they were like, oh, she's back. And then I explained what had happened. But Angie's Life, if it weren't for your last chat on the other live stream that ended like 15, 20, 30 minutes ago, I wouldn't have known anything was wrong. But, you know, when you glance up at your counter, how many people are viewing you? Like right now, it's 18. Well, and the other live, it was up to like 61. And then after a few minutes, I looked and it was 5. And I was like, the fuck is going on? I know I put on deodorant this morning. And even if I hadn't, I know they can't smell me through the phone. Did something exciting happen? Did someone else come on YouTube that is actually offering you something of value? And you were all like, oh, let's just rush over there and watch that person and just leave her here on her own. Or did something massive happen somewhere in the world and I don't know it because I'm standing here in my house by myself talking to you two? So thank you, Angie's Life. And welcome new subscribers, each and every one of you. I am a batshit crazy old lady, 74 years of age. Been on YouTube for almost 4 years. And yeah, I'm just an old retired lady with a lot of life experience that likes to talk a lot on certain days. Then on other days, I don't want to talk at all. I don't know. So this cold reading may fall flat on its face. And I'm going to make the reading a little bit longer than normal. Since, yeah. Angie's Life is saying, like your mama cat's hodgepodgery. It's down under, hi, down under with love. You love batshit crazy? So let's see what from, oh, by the way, all of the stories in this book are either biographical or autobiographical. In this case, we are reading from How to Live on 24 Hours a Day. And if I can get to the title page, I will tell you that it is a condensation from the book by Arnold Bennett. And it offers a miniature of the excellently disciplined method by which the distinguished author governed his own life with such evident success. And I'm just going to the middle of it, and we're going to read several paragraphs. See if we can get anything out of it. Now, why would I say see if we can get anything out of it? Because of the thing I like to remind you of that we learned from Mark Twain. From this very book, okay? From any experience, take only the wisdom and stop there. From How to Live on 24 Hours a Day by Arnold Bennett. Many people remain idle in the evenings because they think there is no alternative to idleness but the study of literature. And they do not happen to have a taste for literature. This is a great mistake. There are enormous fields of knowledge quite outside literature, which yield magnificent results to cultivators. For example, you go to concerts, you smoke your cigarette, and I regret to say that you strike your matches during the soft bars of the overture. Now let's keep in mind this is 1946. Back then you could smoke in theaters and auditoriums and cafes and restaurants. You could smoke everywhere. Now I don't even smoke in my own house. Okay? But I digress. You smoke your cigarette and you enjoy the music. But you say you cannot play the piano or the fiddle. What does that matter? Surely your inability to perform the Maiden's Prayer on a piano need not prevent you from making yourself familiar with the construction of the orchestra to which you listen. As things are, you probably think of the orchestra as a heterogeneous mass of instruments producing a confused, agreeable mass of sound. You do not listen for details because you have never trained your ears to listen for details. If you are asked to name the instruments which play the great theme at the beginning of Beethoven's C minor symphony, which has thrilled you, you could not name them for your life's sake. All that you can positively state about the C minor symphony is that it is a jolly fine thing. Now, if you have read, say, Mr. Cabell's How to Listen to Music, which contains photographs of the orchestral instruments and plans of the arrangements of the orchestras, you would next go to a concert with an astonishing intensification of interest in it. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and remind those listening. When I read from this book, in my mind, and I'm hoping in yours, I am transposing what I am reading to the internet as a metaphor. Instead of a confused mass, the orchestra would appear to you as what it is, a marvelously balanced organism whose various groups of members each have a different and an indispensable function. You would spy out the instruments and listen for them. You would know the gulf that separates a French horn from an English horn and perceive why a player of the hautboy gets higher wages than a fiddler, though the fiddle is the more difficult instrument. You would live at a concert, whereas previously you had merely existed there in a state of I'm sorry, wait a minute. In a state of coma, like a baby gazing at a bright object. But I hate music, you say. My dear sirs and madams, I respect you. What applies to music applies to the other arts. And may I interject, to social media, more specifically YouTube. I might mention this one, or that one, or the other, as beginnings, merely beginnings, of a systematic vitalizing knowledge in other arts. I hate all the arts, you say. My dear sir or madam, I respect you more and more. And I will deal with your case next, before coming to literature. From every experience, take only the wisdom and stop there. Trying to think of a song. Revel in the silence. It doesn't happen on my channel on YouTube very often. When I was a little bitty baby, my mama would rock me in the cradle in them old cotton fields back home. It was down in Louisiana, just about a mile from Texarkana, in them old cotton fields back home. Now when them cotton balls get rotten, you can't pick very much cotton. In them old cotton fields back home, it was down in Louisiana, just about a mile from Texarkana. In them old cotton fields back home. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 cheap. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night. I'm unplugging you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you now. Thank you all for coming back. Thank you all for putting up with my batshit craziness. And I agape love each and every one of you. I'll see you the next time. In the meantime, you continue using your superpower, kindness. Don't let anybody take advantage of it. There are folks out there who will. But there are also folks who deserve it. And you might be surprised the benefit that you yourself derive from showing simple kindness to another human being, even if it's somebody you don't know. All right, now get out of my kitchen. I've got stuff to do. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. I'm going to leave you now.